Hello, Reds. Welcome back to Liverpool Latest. I'm your host, Matt. Thanks for joining me today, as always. I got a lot to talk about, but first, wherever you are watching or listening to this show on, I want you to do two things for me, if you would be so kind. First, be sure to leave a like or some sort of a rating, preferably 5 stars if it's an audio platform, and most importantly, share the show and subscribe to never miss an upload. We have daily uploads every day here, or almost every day here on Liverpool Latest. So thank you for joining me. Thank you to FanArch for always allowing me to do this. Let's get right into it, shall we? Kind of a light news day today. First and foremost, I've talked about this a little bit in the past, so I won't dwell on it too much, as it's not necessarily super important to the actual Liverpool team, but as far as the actual atmosphere and the fan base, I find it to be somewhat important. The ticket price issue is something that fans are continuing to rebel against for obvious reasons, naturally. The planned increase is set to take place, I believe, in the following season, and fans naturally are sharing their dissatisfaction about the whole ordeal. The club's plan, like I had mentioned in the past, is to increase ticket prices for the next 3 consecutive seasons, and the fans, on the other hand, request a 2-year price freeze so that it kind of currently aligns with their broadcast deal cycle. So it seems as though the club is listening. They don't give a shit, though, because they're going to keep doing this anyway. The supporters' position, which is apparently being represented by the Spirit of Shankly, are arguing that the increase in prices is risking pricing out local fans and communities, and they desire for a collective Premier League-wide agreement to stop yearly rises. Like I said, club has listened. Nothing's changed. The decision has been described as incredibly disappointing for fans, and it's setting a bad move for a bad precedent for other clubs, because no other Premier League club has committed to 3 consecutive annual increases. So, what are they doing about this? Well, apparently, in the 13th minute of the Crystal Palace game, there was going to be a demonstration, a peaceful one, mind you, to protest these price changes. And so keep an eye out for that during the Crystal Palace game. This video will probably be up not too long after that takes place. So if I do find any news about it in the wake of it, I'll be sure to post here on the channel if I find news. All in all, nothing that needs to be explained too much further. I agree with the fans' perspective on this. I understand clubs need to make money. I understand that sports is in fact a business, but it is the fans that put those clubs and those franchises in business, and I think the idea of pricing people out is not a good look. Reason I say that is because, as a wrestling fan, I know I bring wrestling a lot into this show. The pricing out aspect has been a problem for the WWE, because WWE ticket prices have been increasing over the course of the last year in multiple markets, especially during the time of WrestleMania, which tickets were astronomically high compared to previous years. And fans were arguing that TKO was pricing out the casual or the families that help put WWE in business by spending money. Instead, they are catering more towards like that upper echelon of economic status that could afford such high prices. Therefore, the product is actually somewhat worse because there are not actually true fans in the audience. And I feel as though, while this is not wrestling related, it's kind of a similar ordeal here for Liverpool, as in local fans cannot go and see matches at Anfield, and it's not fair to them that they can't go and other people who are more financially well-equipped to deal with these price changes can. Probably those who are a little bit more wealthy. So I believe that sports should be for everybody. I believe that there should be reasonable prices taking place here, and that I am on the side of the fans with this, though I do see kind of why Liverpool is doing this, though I don't necessarily agree with it. We'll have to see what happens with this peaceful protest, because 13th minute is something we got to keep an eye out for. As we move on, Arne Slot has provided us an update in the most recent press conference today, which is Friday, in regards to Ugo Ekitike, who is currently suffering from an Achilles injury. Apparently, Ekitike has now had a successful surgery, according to Arne Slot. Everything went as planned, and this marks the start of his rehabilitation process. Of course, we all know when it comes to an Achilles injury, it's very serious, and it's certainly described as a major setback for both the player and the team. But Slot does express the confidence that Ekitike can return stronger. There is no necessary time. There's no set time when he's going to come back. Obviously, an injury like this can take upwards of about a year to fully recover from. And I'm not going to lie to you, I am a bit worried for Ekitike when he comes back. Here's why I say this. An issue like an Achilles for a sport such as football is something that could make or break someone's career. I want him to be better, obviously, but I don't know that if he comes back, he's going to be the same quality of player that we are going to get, that we have gotten in the past due to this injury. And that is the fear I have the most. Not only that, as a young guy, he's a young guy too. That's a bad injury to take. Could you imagine taking an Achilles injury at 23, 24 years old? You still have your whole career ahead of you, more or less. And this happens. And now, not only is your career put on the shelf, it could possibly be career ending, and now you have to find what to do next. As a young guy like Ekitike, I could not fathom what that can do to someone emotionally, mentally, professionally. So the good news is that he's doing better. The bad news is we don't know when exactly he's going to come back. And considering that this injury took place earlier this month, I would not be shocked if I don't see him again until the absolute earliest January, February. If we're lucky, mind you. So until then, I've talked about this in the past. We have to find a suitable replacement for Ekitike so that we can continue to make our own push in the Premier League and hopefully not suffer nearly as bad as some of our rivals have over the course of the season. Now let's go on to the team news. Apparently, there's been some pretty good injury boosts, and I don't mean that in a negative sense. Whereas several players are coming back or in the process of coming back from long-term injuries. Alisson Becker is apparently close to returning, but this match against Crystal Palace might be too soon. So expect Freddie Woodman to be the guy in net, as Mardashvili is still out due to his injured leg from the previous match. Joe Gomez is apparently available again after injury, which is good. It's an option. Not necessarily a reliable one, but an option nonetheless. And Wataru Endo is apparently progressing in recovery and could return before the season ends. So I didn't think Endo was going to even be able to play the rest of the season. I didn't think he was going to be back until the World Cup. Turns out Endo might actually be back sooner as a result. So that's actually great news. And I don't know if Endo is going to be a part of the team in the coming years, but I do think that he's a good player. And I think having him back, at least training with the guys, with the team, is a good boost for morale, certainly, especially after so much injury problems over the course of the season. So I can definitely understand that. Especially with Crystal Palace, man, because they themselves also have a bit of a boost in their own right. But before I get to that, apparently, and this is what I saw too, is that the 21-year-old keeper, Armin Pesci, who I've talked about very briefly because he's not someone that we typically see the name of in the first team, he will be among Liverpool's substitutes at Anfield this weekend as well. So I guess for Freddie Woodman, if he somehow gets injured, Pesci is going to be the guy next in line to take that spot. So I believe he's part of the I believe he's probably on the under 21 team, if not maybe a different level of the youth group. But still, big boost for him. Well deserved. Probably due to circumstance, but still, always be ready. Like I said in the last episode, stay ready, always. As far as Palace, they're also boosted by the return of Adam Wharton, who I talked about that he had also suffered an injury setback, and that I was curious what's going to happen with him if he was to transfer at the end of the season to either us or somewhere else. So he has been unable to feature in a few matches, but now it seems like he is going to be coming back. Glasner said that Adam is good. He is fit and trained yesterday without any issue, so he'll be available for Liverpool, though I don't necessarily know in what capacity. So, also, apparently, there's a couple of other guys that have been hurt. There's some injuries to Eddie Nketiah and Evan Gussan. They will miss the game as well. Let's see. And of course, Chik Doucouré is yet to play this season due to injury. So that's actually kind of shitty for Crystal Palace in their own sense. We'll have to find out what happens there. Here's what I say, though. This is a very big match for us to deal with. I'm not sure if you guys have been keeping score over the course of this season, but Crystal Palace in any competition has beat us all 3 times they have faced us. The first time in the Community Shield, which was embarrassing because I think we were winning up 2-0 and then they came back and won on penalties. So the Community Shield was 1. Then in the regular Premier League season, we lost 2-1. I remember that game because I was about half asleep for it. Then 3 was the Carabao Cup, where we were eliminated in an absolutely embarrassing fashion, where we basically did not compete at all. Looking back, it might not be so much more of an issue because of the injuries that accumulated after the fact, but in the moment, it was certainly an embarrassing experience for us Liverpool fans to be beat as bad by Palace as we were. So this game is going to be a very much do or die scenario for Liverpool, as Crystal Palace can go for the clean sweep and go 4-0 against us. As a matter of fact, Oliver Glasner, I saw on Twitter before I started recording, he said that they have the potential to beat them 4 times. So just reading that made my stomach turn a little bit, knowing that a very mid-tier club like Palace could pull something like that off against the now former Premier League champions. We all know that this race is between Arsenal and City. So here's what's going on, man. We gotta come out strong here. We can't be dilly-dallying around. This match is in Anfield. This match, the fans need this match, okay? They need a win here, because the last time I think that they faced each other was in the Carabao Cup in Anfield, where we got embarrassed, and that was not a pretty sight whatsoever. So the fans, as far as a morale boost, need this. If we lose, well, we might as well have, instead of a peaceful protest about ticket prices, there might as well be a riot at Anfield at this rate, because this is just embarrassing. But, and the problem is Liverpool has to be consistent. As far as what we should be doing, we can't be starting these games off slow, man. I think that's been our biggest problem this season, is that we're starting these games off too slow, allowing the opposing side to score against us, and we concede. We just can't be having shit like that, man. We can't allow these teams to be beating us in the early outset, and then we have to play from behind. We can't win games like that. It's just not going to be a good look at all. I do expect the normal 4-2-3-1 formation for Arne Slot. though I do expect Mo Salah to play a pretty solid role in this match if he is not benched, mind you. And for example, and well, not for example, for reference, if Mo Salah is benched in any capacity in this match, Arne Slot should be fired on the spot. But that is just my personal opinion. That would be an absolute garbage thing to do if Mo doesn't play this game in any capacity. Whether he subs or whether he starts, it doesn't matter. I would prefer him to start like 99% of the time, but it also depends on how he plays as well. So the club's definitely going to be relying on that. I think Ngomoa could make a good addition as well to the starting 11. Ngomoa could probably get a lot of good reps in against a side like Palace. I could see him being very much a force to be reckoned with. As far as midfield goes, Gomez being back kind of frees up Szoboszlai on the right side, so he can now go to his proper spot in the midfield. So I would be happy and pleased with that, though it's not necessarily something I expect Slot to do. But if that is the case, I will be very pleasantly surprised. So there's no reason why this game we can't have some sort of progress in. We have faced similar clubs or similar ranked clubs in the last week or two where we kind of really needed the win, to be honest with you. Like there's no reason why we shouldn't be able to win this. Let's just see the last 5 matches just for reference, if that's all right with you. Let's see. Liverpool have won 2 of their last 5, and they've drawn against one of them as well, with 2 losses in there somewhere. Palace is 13th place. They've lost, they've won, they've drew, they've won, and they've drawn. So they're slightly better than we are, but they're still in 13th place. We need this win far more than they do. So this is going to be what, in my opinion, makes or breaks what we see this team going into the next season. If we lose to Palace 4-0 over the course of this season, what does that say about us as a club against a very average mid-tier team like Crystal Palace, to allow them to beat us the way they have? So I hope that's not the case. But until then, I know this video is going to be uploaded somewhere around halftime. So if you happen to watch it after the fact, hopefully we win. And if you happen to catch me on the next episode on Sunday, my reaction to this game will be all you need to know about how I feel about this club right now. So thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys being here. Like I said, leave a like, comment your thoughts down below if you feel so inclined to. Most importantly, share and subscribe. Means a lot to me. Means a lot to Fan Arch. And let's hope for a win. I don't want Palace sweeping us. Thanks, guys. You never walk alone.